Hello friend, welcome back. From this video, we will start to create that our content generations. As I told you here throughout this our ChatGPT API, we will create the three functionality. One, you will be generate the content, then you will generate the images, and also you will generate that audio. So three things step by step. Now one by one, I want to cover it. So before doing this, first of all, we have to now create another new database table. Okay, here for the content generations, here we have to create this database table, and then we have to also save this data into this our table. For doing this, I want to create another new model. Right now we don't need it. I want to better clean it, and here I want to open that our terminal, and I want to better make it as a clear. I want to create another new model in Laravel. If you want to create another new model, means that will be one of the table, right? So I want to name it as a PHP artisan, and then the make model, and I want to create the name model like as a generate GENERATED. Okay, generated content. This type of one of the model I want to create, and also at a time I want to create one of the migrations table. So now that will be created two things. One, it's created one of the models name in our models folder as a generated content, and also in our content there is a database. Into the database folder, into the migrations folder, it's created another our table, right? That means here it should be created one of the table name as a generate content, and into this table area how many field you want to add, that is the field we have to define it from to this our migrations table. Okay, so now first of all I want to go to our migration. Like you will get it into this our database, and into this database there is a migration, and here Laravel already provided default some of the table, but now I have created one of the new one by the name as a generate content. Right, so into this generate content, I want to define three of this field. Like here, first of all, I want to define one of the field name, and I just make it one of the JSON type. Okay, that will be one of the JSON type here, because throughout this our ChatGPT API, we will generate this our data, and also here only one field I want to add it like as the input field. I just name it as input. Okay, I just name it as input. So from here, actually, I will store this our input data to the JSON. Okay, as a JSON data, I will actually input it from to this input area. So I simply added one of the field name as a JSON, as that will be named as the input. Then I want to define another table. Our table field, I make it as a text. Okay, that will be the text, and text will be I want to simply define that will be the text type, and type I want to name this field name as output. Okay, that will be actually output, which will be actually generated this content throughout this our API. Okay, I just make it as a text field, which is fine. And then I want to also define another field, how many actually word count you want to assign. Like if you want to put that to the our API or the ChatGPT, that you define as a 200 word. So that will be created one of the 200 word related content. If you put it as a 300 word count, that will be created as a 300 word count related one of the content. So here also I want to define it as a table, and then I want to name it as unsigned integer. Okay, integer. That will be as an unsigned integer, one of the value. And here I want to use that our name field name will be as a word underscore count. Okay, I just name it as a word count. So I think that is the things will be enough. From to this input field, we will insert that some of the data, like generate some of the things about the USA. So here it should be send this JSON data to the ChatGPT API. GPT API will be receive this input field data, and throughout this input field, how many word you have selected, like you selected as a 300 word. So throughout this 300 word, it should be created one of the content throughout that our ChatGPT API, and then that will be simply get it and display it in here with the output. Okay, so that is actually our total process. I think that field will be enough for me now. Okay, now I click as a updated, and now also we have to update our model, and that is actually our model name as a generated content. And into this generated content, here I have already added some of the field. I want to make all that field that should be as a fillable. Here obviously we have to add it. So here if you're going to add it, that will be as a protected. I want to make it as a guarded. Okay, that will be as a protected guarded, and protected guarded I want to make it as a empty array. So now throughout this, that will be do whatever the field and how many field you have added, it doesn't matter. All that your field will be as a fillable. Rather than you can also do another things. If you go to that our user, that is a by default Breeze actually created. That means Laravel also created this type of one of the default model as a user model. Rather than you have to define it like that way. Protected fillable, whatever the field you have added, all that your field one by one you have to add it. But right now I make it as a protected guarded as an empty array. That means now our all that field that should be as a fillable. And also here I want to define another protected functions, like I name it as a protected. Okay, protected, and protected I name it as a cast. I just name it as a casters, and here that is a one of the array, and this array area here I want to pass that our field name. I have already defined it as input, and that should be one of the JSON format data. I want to make it as a that is a input, and this input area I want to define it. This will be like as a array. Okay, that will be as one of the array type. Here I also want to update it, because that will be also needed later. Here I simply updated this JSON format data as an input field. That will be as a one of the array. Okay, now that's fine. Now click as a save all, and now I want to migrate. And when you migrate it, that should be now created another new table, in particular that our database area. Here if you want to do it, we have to run that command as a php artisan and then the migrate. Click as a enter, and now you can see it's migrate one of the new database table as a generated content. And now if you go to our database, if you refresh it, that is a new database table is successfully created as a generated content. And here I have already assigned 3 of this field. One is the input field, output field, and also the word count field. Perfect. So now our next job will be, I want to get all the data. I will actually load this data into this our admin dashboard. So here for doing this, first of all, I want to create another new menu. Like here, if you want to use it, that is in our sidebar. I want to go back to our project. Now that will be not needed. That will be not needed. That will be also not needed. I want to go to our resources view, and there is our admin body folder. Here I want to go to our sidebar, and now here I want to name it one of the menu. Okay, better I want to take it a little bit left side by pressing that shift tab. Okay, I want to take it a little bit left side. Perfect. Now into the chat I want to change that name. Here I name it as generate, GENERATED. Okay, that will be generate content, and that is actually one of the menu. And if you want to access this menu, I want to create another new route for this. Here I want to define it as a route, and route name I name it like as a generate main or content, whatever you choose. I name it as generate main. This type of one of the route I want to create this route in our web.php, and better I want to create another new controller also. I want to go back here. I want to create the new controller as a PHP artisan and make controller, and same in our admin folder. I want to create another new controller as a contain. Okay, contain, and then the controller, TROLL, whatever name actually you choose. Now I name it as a contain controller. Our controller created successfully. So now our next job will be here. We have to support it. Better I copy it and then I paste it. Same folder I have created as an admin controller before. Now I created another one in our admin folder as a content controller. I copy it, and now in our web.php here we have to support it. And here it's very important, make that sure you add that our in which area you actually created this controller. Here you have to update it. So in our controller folder, in our admin folder, I have created as a content controller that is successfully loaded. All right, great. So now I want to create it. Better I copy this one. Here I want to better put some of the note for you. that will be for the generate. Okay, Generate, generate content route. I just put some of the note for you. Okay, here I want to paste it. So now our controller name will be as a generate content controller. I copy it and I want to update this our controller name as a content controller. In our sidebar, I created that our route name as a generate main. I want to update it as a generate main. Our URL, I want to use it as a generate, and then that will be as a generate main. And I also want to create another new method as a generate. Okay, Generate, generate content main. This type of one of the method I want to create. Okay, content and main. Okay, so now this type of one of the method I want to create this method in our content controller, right? So now I want to go back to that our content controller. Here, that is our content controller. I want to first of all create another new method that will be as a public, and then the function method name will be as a generate content, and that is the method is started, but I want to put some of the note as a and method. Okay, perfect. So now here we have to get this all data from to this our generate content table. So if you want to access this table, we can able to access it throughout this our model. So model means here I have already created one of the model name as a generated content. Now better I copy it. Now throughout this we have to access it. If you want to access it, we have to also support appropriate path as a app / that is in our models folder, and / that is our generate content, right? That is our app models folder, and that is our generate content. So here make that sure you support it. So now with this we can able to access that our table, and now from to this table I want to get all the data. So I take one of the variable, I just name it as a content. Okay, I name it as a contents. Sorry, that will be the content, TNTS contents. And now throughout this model I want to get all that our latest data. I simply want to get it. Okay, then I want to return on the view page. That will be return view in our admin, and in our backend I will create it, and here I want to create another new folder as a contents, and here I want to create another new file as all contents. Okay, and here whatever the data we will be get it by the compact method I want to pass it. Perfect. I hope you already know about it, right? So throughout this model we can able to access that our table, and then here I get all that our data. Right now I don't have any data, but later I will also insert this data in here. I will get all that data, and I get it. I take the things with this variable. Now all that our generate content model related table data in our, that is the variable as a content. So that is the content that I pass it in our admin. Back in contents folder, all contents one of the file. Here I simply pass it. So now we have to create, better I want to copy, and now to go to the view in our admin folder. Here I want to create another new folder as a backend, and then into this backend area I want to create another new folder. I just name it as a contents, and into this contents folder I want to create another new file. Okay, I create another new file as a all contents.blade.php. Perfect. So that is really great, right? So now here we have to do this will be same. I want to better go to the index, and now if you go, I will have to extend this. I want to extend that our main admin master, and I paste it. That will be as a and section. So now that will be more clear to you. Here throughout this our admin master we can able to get that our this theme related CSS, JSS, sidebar, header, and also the footer, right? So here I simply loaded, and now if you want to check it, click as a run the PHP addition optimize. I hope you already remember, because I have already changed that our web.php. I want to remove all that our caches, and if you now go to that our dashboard, if you refresh it, now there is a new menu as generate content. If you click it, you can see here nothing is in particular that position, but our header, CSS, JSS, sidebar, header, and footer, everything is in here, because here everything I have already loaded from to this our admin master. So now we have to design this page, and here we have to visible it. So for doing this, I want to go back to that our theme. Here if you go to that our backend theme, and into this theme area, if you go to that invoice, like that is actually one of the table. Okay, I want to do and actually take this table. Okay, so that is the table. If you want to take it, like that is actually, I want to select it with the inspect. Rather than you can also go to that app invoice.html. From here actually you can copy it. You can also copy it throughout this our inspect. So into the inspect, I have already take this our page contain in our master. So after that master, that is our page container, right? Here if you go to that index, then that will be much clear to you. And you can see I have take everything from to this our page container. If you go to our admin master, I have already take this in our admin master as a page content. That means here after that we have to take it. So I want to take it from to this our page container. If you select it, okay, make that sure you select it, and you can see that is also highlighted as a selected. I want to open with the edit HTML. So that is everything I want to do to copy it by pressing that Ctrl+C. I copy it, and now I want to do to add it in our page. Here I want to do to paste it. Okay. They have the so many code. Don't worry, I will actually remove everything from here. Now only I want to do and to simply select it. I want to take it a little bit left side by pressing that shift tab. I want to take it a little bit left side. Okay, perfect. So now that is fine. Okay, and now that is fine. Here I want to take it. Now click as a save all. And now if you go, I want to check it. Here if you refresh it, you can see static data that is successfully loaded. So right now I don't need all the data, only one row data, that will be enough. Okay, so now I want to change it. Here if you do, I want to find out that is actually our TR, that is a TH and T head, and that is a TD. Perfect. So that is a T body. I only want to take one TR. You can see that is one TR is started, one TR is ended, and rest of all the our TR I want to minimize it. Okay, here I want to minimize all. They have the so many tier. I want to simply select it, and you can see that is ended. If you select it, that is started, that is ended. I only want to do and to take one, and rest of all that our tier I want to remove it. So now that is only one tier is in here. Okay, perfect. So better I want to take this div a little bit left side. I want to take it a little bit left side. Okay. Now if you click as a save all, and now that should be only one. If you refresh it, that is only one. Designation also that will be not needed. I want to better make it as a clear. Here after that they have also designation. If you select this div is started, div is ended, and I want to remove it. You can see there is a designation 1, 2, 3. I don't need this. I want to remove it. Okay, click as a save all. Now that should be fine. That is also gone. And here actually search button that will be not needed. Here I want to update only one of the name. If you go, that is actually one of the input field div, right? That is a positive input field. I don't need this. I want to remove it. And here I want to load one of the H2 tag. I name it as H2, and that will be as a generate generate content. Content. Okay, now click as a save all. Now that should be display as a generate content. That have also another button. Here I want to better make it as a add content. Later I will put some of the link in here, but now that is everything. So here only some of the few data I want to visible, like right now input chatbot, that will be not needed. I want to remove it. Only I want to take it our T head, and that will be our serial number. I want to visible it. Okay, serial number. I want to visible that our title. Okay, that will be the title. That means our input field title. Here that should be display our content preview. I name it as a content preview. Okay, preview. This preview means where that will be actually get it from to our ChatGPT API that will be generated. This content, that is the content that should be display. I want to better make it as a content preview. Okay, and another one I want to take it as a word count, and then the count. Okay, and when that is actually created, if you want to also visible it, you can visible it. I name it as a created time, and then that will be another one as a action. Okay, I want to name it as action. Our action is already in here, we don't need it. I want to better remove it. That is our action. Okay, so now there is a 1 2 3 4 5 6. That means 60 head. Also same things we have to update in here. I want to remove it. There is a 1 2. Also we don't need it. Okay, here actually I want to better make it as a clear. I want to remove this TD as a 1 2 3. We don't need it. 3 4 5. Okay, I name it as a 5 6. Okay, so that will be, I want to better copy it and I paste it and paste it. So that will be as a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? That is a 1 2 3 4 5 6. That means that will be actually a 1, so better I want to remove it. Perfect. So I think that's fine. If you now click as a save all, and now if you refresh it, it's much better. As a serial number, title, the content preview, word count, created time, and that is our action. Okay, so now actually I have already get all that our data. So right now that is all that our data. I take the things with this variable. Now we have to visible it in here. Okay, so that is actually our tier. So into this tier area, I want to visible here. If I want to visible it, after that here, before this our T body, I want to run one of the for each loop. That will be the for each is started, for each is ended. So now that is our total tier. I want to select it and tier is ended. Here after that I want to make it as a and for each. Perfect. So now here after that here I have already get all the data with our content. I copy it. Now that will be our variable as a content. Now I want to access it by the name like as item. Okay, so now I want to do with this item. First of all, here also we have to display that our key. So I want to take it, our key. That will be the key value. I want to take it. Okay, so fine. So first of all, I want to display that with this key. I want to display that our serial number. So that will be, I put it as a hash. By this name here, that should be display our key. And that will be the key. Key will be as a +1. Okay, that means, that will be as a +1. 1 2 3 automatically that will be updated. And then I want to visible. Okay, here after that I want to visible that our title. So title, if you want to visible here, I want to do here after that. Okay, here after that I want to use it. That will be title area. I want to also put some of the limitation, how many character that have. Here I want to put it. So here if you want to do it, that will be as a str, right? The str limit, one of the helper I want to call it as a limit, and that is also provided by the Laravel. And into this limit function area here I want to do here, if you go to that our input field, as I told you, that is the input field data. I have already defined it. That will be one of the JSON format data, and here this is the data will be get it from to this our API. So I want to make it as a clear. Here if you want to make it as a clear, in that case we have to do, but I want to put some of the function in particular that for each. I take one of the PHP started, PHP ended. I take one of the PHP block, and here first of all I want to put some of the note for you as a decode. That will be decode that our JSON input data. So I make it as the input, JSON input to get our title. Okay, so here if you want to actually get this title, I want to simply take it like that will be our input data. I take one of the variable, and here with this variable, first of all I have to decode it. So that will be the JSON will be as a decode. Okay, decode. JSON will be decode throughout this our item. So that is actually our item. With this item I want to access that our database field name, or field name as the input field. So I want to access it, our item. With this item I want to access that our input field, and input field here I want to pass it our value, that is our true. I pass it as a true. Okay, and then I want to take another variable. I just name it as a title, and into this title area, that is our input decoded file code. I have already take it, our input field value, and that is the things I have wanted to take it, and I want to access it by the name as a title. So here if there have any title, I want to make it as if there have any title, that will be display the title, rather than that will be display the untitled. Okay, titled. That means it's not getting any data. So this type of the value that will be display. And also here we have to get that our word limit. I want to put another variable as a word and then the limit. When I run it, everything will be more clear to you, but now I simply want to add that functionality in our input field. That means that is our input data. Into this our input data area, here also another field. Here I want to get this our limit. Okay, here I want to get this limit by the name. I just name it as a word underscore count underscore limit. Okay, if there have any limit, then that will be actually get this data, or rather than that will be get as a 0. Okay, 0 value data that will be get it. So now you may have some question, from where actually we get this our input title, from where we get that our word count limit. Don't worry, here we have to also create some of the services. We have to also get this data. When I created this function, that is the things I will actually pass it from to this our API to our database. Okay, here that will be actually inserted that things like that object data. So literally I will actually pass it like that way. So that is the reasons here I want to use it the name as a title and word count limit. And then also I want to simply clean that our preview all that content. So here if you want to make it as a clear, but I want to also write down this code for you. That will be as a clear or clean. Okay, I name it as a clean contain for preview. Okay, here I want to better create another new variable as a clean contain, and this contain will be here I want to call one of the function as a strip. Okay, that will be the strip, this strip underscore tag function, tags function, and into this area I want to pass it that is the item, and with this item I want to access that our API will be generated that our content, and that will be loaded in our output field. That is our output. Here I want to load it. Okay, and then I want to simply add the preview. So I take another variable as a preview, and preview will be with the str. With this I want to access that our limit, a limit. That will be the str limit, and now that will actually display all that our JSON data or the different type of data that will be now display very organized way. Is very important, rather than that will be actually display all your uncategory or unprofessional data, because when that will be generated that the input, when that will be generated the output, you will be well understand what type of formatted that is API actually created in here. Okay, so that is the reasons here I want to simply formatted it. That is a str limit, and with this str limit, that is our clean content. I want to pass that our content and how many character you want to visible. Like I want to visible as a 80 character that should be display, and here after that will be loaded as a dot. Okay, that will be as a dot. So this type of one of the things that will be loaded. So now that is the value data I want to do. I want to now visible in our STL limit. Into the HTML limit, I have already take it by the name as a title. So that is the title I want to now visible in our limit. I want to display this our title. Title will be like as a 300 characters or 30 character that will be display. And rather than after that will be display as a dot. Okay. So now that is fine. And then after that will be display our content preview, right? So that the content preview, if you want to visible it here, I want to actually visible that is actually our preview. I want to simply display that preview in here. Okay, so that will be our preview. I want to simply visible it. That will be the preview, and then that will be our another one after the preview as a word count. Word count, if you want to visible, I want to visible it like that way here with this item. With this item I want to visible. Okay, I want to visible that our field name I have already added as a word count. So that will be our word count. That's word count. That will be display count number as a words. Okay, I name it as a word, WRDS, words. Fine. And then created at here also that will be created at means here also that is a provided one of the default field name Laravel provided as a created at. So now I also want to update it. That should be display with the item. Okay, with this item I want to access it. I want to access that our created ad, and this created ad I want to do under format. Okay, that will be the for and then the met. I want to format it like that should be displayed in one of the best way as a month and then the date. Okay, that is actually one of the format I want to use it, and then that will be as a y. So now by this format that will be actually displayed. I want to visible it. Okay, but I want to take it as a format month and then the date, a comma, and then the y. Perfect. And you can also use it, created ad, and also here if you want to display the time you can actually display it, but now I think that is fine, and that's all. Okay, that is our rest of all that button. So I will execute that things later. Now I think that is fine. Click as a save all. Now that is fine. Okay, and now right now that should be not display anything, it because of all right now I don't have any data. Now that should be as a clear. So now in our next video I want to start to work for our ad content part. Okay, literally here I will actually create some of the preview model. With this model I want to visible all that our data. So now in our next video I want to work for our generate content that have also another button. I have used it as a add content. Now we'll create another new route, and now everything that should be fine. Okay, that is our for each and section, that is our button, and that is our total tier. Okay friend, great. So now better I want to continue this process. In our next video I will work for our add content. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.